right. So hey to the class of 2026 and their supporters. My name is Christine Kenyon, and I'm welcoming you to the Postsecondary Webinar for your class. I'm your Career College Specialist, and I'm joined tonight by two of your academic counselors, Maddie Laporte and Laura Carson. Tonight, we're going to give you about 30 minutes of a presentation. We will have time for Q&A after that, and then after the Q&A, we will wrap up and share a little bit of resources and some wayfinding so you can follow up later.
All right, so the presentation will cover these main topics. We'll talk about some post-secondary options, the counselor role in the post-secondary application process, some information that you will need to complete your applications, what to do in Naviance, including how to order official transcripts, and then we'll talk about some other helpful resources. And like Ms. Kenyon said, we'll have time for questions at the end, but we also have the Q&A feature open right now. So if you have questions throughout, feel free to type them in the Q&A, and we'll be able to answer some as we go, and we'll save some on the end. The presentation will also, the slides will be posted to our website afterwards, so you'll be able to click on any links that are in there, and there will be a recording posted as well. All right, so this presentation is mostly focused on the four-year college application process, but there are many other great options for your post-secondary experience, including the military, gap years, joining the workforce, career and technical education programs, apprenticeships, two-year colleges, and much more. So if you want to talk more about any of those other options, please talk to your counselor, the counselor of the day, or Ms. Kenyon, and we can get more into those things.
In case you don't already know who your alpha counselors are, here they are by alphabet breakdown. As counselors, we will play several roles during your senior year. One of them being your academic counselors, so helping to work with you to ensure that you're on track to graduate on time. Another role being college and career counselor. Some of you have already been on to Naviance doing some things on there, and we can help you use this information to create a plan for after high school. And then we will also be sending your official school documents through Naviance to your post-secondary institution or program that you're applying to. We are available every day. We also have the counselor of the day, which is our days are listed here on the slide. And then Miss Kenyon also has Tuesdays and Thursdays where she's helping out. If you have general questions, any of the counselors can help you answer some of those. And you can also stop by the Career Hub. There are more people that you should know about as well that are our counseling support staff. Amanda Thrall and Robin Moore are our counseling assistants. Monica Moline is our registrar, and Debbie Hansen is our assessment coordinator. Ms. Thrall and Ms. Moore can also help answer some of those general questions that you might have about Naviance or school documents. Ms. Thrall is your go-to person for any general questions about counseling services. Ms. Moline, our registrar, can help answer any questions or concerns that you might have about your official transcript or school records, student records. And then Ms. Hansen, our assessment coordinator, can answer questions regarding AP exams or the PSAT. It's also good to know that if you have questions regarding graduation ceremony, cap and gown orders, things relating to graduation, Ms. Thrall can help answer a lot of those questions. And she's also a good person to go to if you're wanting to get your unofficial transcript.
Sorry about that. I'll start over. This slide illustrates the components of a complete application and the important relationship between your Naviance account and your college applications. What I like to say is Naviance is Mercer Island High School talking to your colleges through their application process. Without information from each part, the application becomes incomplete and becomes complicated to process. So it is very important that you work with the counseling team, myself, to make sure everything's in line with your Naviance and applications. Your counselor will upload your school documents like your official transcript, counselor recommendation form, and your senior schedule. These are all things that go to your colleges automatically. And then your teachers, if requested, will also upload their recommendation letters. And we'll discuss that in a few minutes. Eventually, when the post-secondary institution or when the college receives your application, they will download your school documents from Naviance. So know that they do not have full access to your personal information, anything that's in Naviance, other than the specific documents I just stated, the counselor recommendation, official transcript, senior schedule, and then of course our school profile. Some programs may require different materials or may not be able to utilize Naviance, and that's when we need to talk and figure that out together. Okay, so there's some things on here to help you fill out your applications. It's a good idea to have all these things sort of in place, but it's okay to do them one at a time. If you need a copy of your unofficial transcript, like Ms. Laporte said, you can come to the counseling department and we can print one for you. Some people have made accounts through Parchment and we're able to get access to a free copy of their unofficial transcript. But we can all do that on your behalf. When you do receive a copy of your transcript, please review the academic information for accuracy. And this is where if you see something that's wrong, you need to talk to Ms. Moline, because remember, we are going to go ahead and send these on your behalf, and we cannot unsend them. So we recommend you double check your transcripts for any discrepancies. Also, under additional state requirements section of this transcript, you'll notice, we're just going to your transcript. You're going to see that your high school and beyond plan is considered not met. That doesn't happen until the very few days before you leave the high school. So don't worry about that right now. You don't need to work on it right now. We will be getting in touch with you and calling you in. But if you want to know what the tasks are, they're going to be on the bottom right corner of your Naviance, and it will say to-do list, and that's what you need to complete for your high school and beyond plan. But this is not about that today, so just know you can pause on that for a little bit. Okay, the academic information on your transcript will be important because most public colleges, or most of the colleges, will ask you to manually enter all the classes you took in high school, your GPA, and if you have test scores and you are submitting them. Here's some basic helpful hints when filling out your application. Please use the titles of the classes exactly how they are on your transcript. It just helps when the colleges get the transcript to match it with your application better. Each high school is assigned a school code identifier or a CEEB code. You can see ours is right there, 480698. You need that for your applications. And the size for your senior class is 380 students. So you'll need that number in your application. We do not add weight to honors courses, AP, or other advanced level courses. So your GPA is unweighted. That does not mean that the colleges will not weight your grades in those classes for their purposes. We just do not at Mercer Island High School. And we also no longer provide a class rank. Some ask information about classes you've taken outside your home high school. Make sure you have a list of those classes and grades that you've earned. And you will probably need to verify those grades by ordering a transcript from that school. So for example, if you took a class at Privet, you will need to have Privet send your transcripts to the schools that you're applying to. Your resume is a summary of extracurricular activities, so it's really helpful to have it with you and updated. You may want to use it in your application, but it also just helps as a friendly reminder to yourself as you're entering all of your activities into your application. And it's a lot of information. These are the things we want you to come and talk to us about, especially me. That is my job. So please do come ask questions that might be feeling confusing right now. Okay, yeah, we'll be talking about your test scores in a later slide. Thank you.
All right, so as Ms. Kenyon said, one of the official school documents that we'll send is your counselor recommendation form. This is the same as like a counselor recommendation letter or form. You might see different words, they all mean the same thing. But this is something that we will send on your behalf to add a holistic perspective to your application. And in order to know what great things to say about you, we'll need you to fill out the senior brag sheet. We've sent some reminders about that already, but it's posted in the class of 2026 Schoology page. It'll also be in this slideshow that you can click on once we post it to the website. So that just gives us some information about you to write this recommendation. And if you have any additional questions about the letter of rec, just talk to your alpha counselor. So a common question that we get from seniors is, how many colleges should I apply to? This is a personal preference, it's your decision, but on average, seniors apply to about 8 colleges, 2 to 3 in each category. So these are some ways to categorize the colleges you're applying to. Safety colleges, meaning your personal and academic profile generally exceeds that of a student who was accepted to the college. Mid-range colleges, which are colleges where many, but maybe not all aspects of your profile exceed the profile of a student that was accepted into the college. And reach colleges where few aspects of your profile align with the average student that's accepted into the college. And there are also some colleges with such low acceptance rates that they're considered a reach for anyone, like literally anyone who applies, because there's just only so many kids that it can take. So some things, oh yeah, Christy, do you want to?
I do. I want to just jump in. This is like a big important step is coming up with this list. And for those of you on the call who are still wondering how to do that, that's a great thing to come and talk to me about. And I also want to say, so far, what I've seen from the class of 2026 are some amazing lists. So you guys are going to be really excited, counselors, when you see what they're applying to. It's a great mix of types of schools and really well thought out schools. So far, excellent work.
That is great to hear. A few things that we recommend you keep in mind in general are, we don't recommend that you apply to schools just to see if you can get in. Every college that you apply to should be one that you actually want to attend. It costs a lot of time and money to apply to really large lists of schools. So you really need to think about if that's worth it to you. And as Ms. Kenyon said, if you have questions or want support making your list or want to talk more about it, please talk to her, talk to a counselor of the day, talk to your counselors, and
This slide provides a quick reference guide for different types of deadlines and restrictions that some of the colleges may have for post-secondary programs. For colleges or programs that have a regular decision deadline, applications are reviewed after that deadline and a decision is made in a clearly stated period of time. For colleges that have a rolling deadline or rolling admissions, applications are reviewed as soon as they receive all of the necessary parts of the application. Therefore, seniors can receive a decision within a few weeks of completing their application. And then there are 3 distinctive early application deadlines that allows students to not only apply early, but also receive decisions earlier than the regular decision or the rolling admissions. And it's important to understand the difference. There's early action. Students can apply early, but they're not obligated to attend the school they accepted. Restrictive early action is used by some colleges to define their own early application criteria, which could be a combination of the early action and the early decision. Early decision is students that declare early decision One, you're agreeing to not apply early decision to any other colleges. And two, agree to attend the college if accepted. Just so you know, if you're applying early decision, so ED, then you have to say that you are attending this school. This is your first choice school. That's really important. You will also be required to complete an early decision agreement with your counselor and your parents or guardians. And then test optional updates. More and more colleges are continuing to have this test optional policy for the this application season. Most of the Washington State public colleges and universities will be test optional or test free, but be sure that you check each college website and potentially the major that you're thinking about. For a listing of other colleges and post-secondary programs that are test optional as well. And there's also a website, fairtest.org. Students often ask how to choose between sending or not sending their scores. It is a personal choice. It's good to know that for most colleges, there will not be a negative effect on your admissions if you decide not to send your SAT or ACT scores. But here's some examples of why you might choose to send it. A student didn't have access to college level classes. A student had a pattern of academic performance in one area that isn't a reflection of their academic skills. To help compensate for a set of low grades or GPA, a specific program at the university that requires the test score. In general, the SAT and ACT provides new insight about the student to the colleges about their academic ability.
Okay, so specific to the college application process, it's helpful to know there's different types. Colleges have their own applications. For example, the University of California, Cal State, Georgetown, if you're applying internationally, and several other schools have their own separate application. And then the Common App helps us streamline the application process, and that's the one we talk about the most. Students will fill out one application and distribute it among all the colleges that elect to use that tool. It's important to know that the Common App has its own section, and then each college has their own portion that they're looking for. So when you're finished filling out the Common App, then you move to the colleges and you start to work on their portion. Sometimes it's just a couple of steps, sometimes it's more. You will connect the Naviance, your Naviance to the Common App, and it helps to streamline everything. And then you will also need to enter any separate applications into Naviance so that we can communicate with those schools when they require it. Okay, yeah, any questions about this? You bring them to me here at the Career Hub or go see the counselor of the day. So sorry. Phone free, phone free. Okay. So what to do now in Naviance? Now, this has been great because students are coming in, they're asking these questions, they're learning, they're doing it, and we are ready to go with that. I'm not saying do it now while we're on the webinar, but in the next week or so. You are going to make sure that the colleges I'm applying to list is accurate. So you're going to look at your list prior to your first deadline and remove any schools you don't want. If you're not sure, you can always add schools later. So you want to look at the colleges I'm applying to and make sure that your list is what you want it to be. If there's nothing on your colleges I'm applying to list, that is okay. We'll talk through that. Either you've started your Common App and we haven't matched it, or you haven't made decisions about your list yet, and that's okay too. So these are all things we can work on together. If a school is on your colleges I'm applying to list, you want to make sure that you are applying to it. So if not, remove it, because we will be sending documents and it will count towards the 20 that we will send for the $65 Naviance fee, which we'll talk about in a minute. So in the college, that section of Naviance, step 1, there's a section called colleges I'm applying to. Make sure that the colleges are there. Any backup colleges to your early decisions, public, out of state, what I was just talking about, UCs, and other schools that may not need your official documentation. Then the Common App, you link to Naviance, which is we just talked about, and then you will eventually send an invitation to teachers asking for your letter of recommendation. And these are things that we could do together. If you've already asked your teacher, then you're in business. You just want to invite them. They'll get a notice on their end. If you haven't invited a teacher and you do need a recommendation letter, not all colleges do, come see me and we'll talk through what that could look like. And you do not need to invite your counselor. And you will actually see on the Common App that it says your school is using Naviance, and they'll have your counselor already listed. Everything is going to be there for you and your counselor will take care of it. So you do not need to invite your counselor.
And just a quick note too, there's a link to a little video on here that you can click when you, once you get a copy of the slides, that shows how to match your Common App with Naviance. It's pretty simple. There's a big button on Naviance that says match with Common App, but there's also a video if you want some more support with that. Or you can come see us and we'll help you.
Okay, so this is how you invite a recommender. Under colleges, it says letters of recommendation. Then you're going to choose to add a new request. And you'll hit add request and you select your teacher. And then you'll click the box of the schools that you are wanting to send that request to, and then submit request. Yeah. And actually what I love about this one is what it actually tells you what the schools will accept. And so that can also be helpful when you're trying to do research, and like, we were saying about deadlines and things like that. Naviance can actually be a really helpful tool to help organize your sort of thinking and your planning around some of this stuff, because it is linked to the application. So it has the accurate information from the schools.
All right, so Ms. Kenyon kind of started talking about this, but on your school fees, one of the things that was on there was a $65 Naviance and high school and beyond plan fee. So that is that covers the use of Naviance for the past 4 years. And one of the things it also covers is sending official documents to up to 20 schools. If you apply to more than 20 schools, which we don't recommend, there will be an additional $10 fee per school. So just keep that in mind. And if you have any concerns or questions about the fees in general, talk to your Alpha counselor. So when you're in Naviance, there's a button that you'll see where you can request transcripts. And I'm just going to repeat what Ms. Kenyon said about how it's important to make sure that that colleges I'm applying to list is finalized when you're requesting transcripts, because we automatically send them in batches to all of the schools on your Common App list, whether or not you end up actually applying. So those will all count towards your 20. And if you add more colleges later, that's fine, but you'll just need to request the transcripts and letters again, and just let your counselor know if you add more colleges later so that we can make sure your stuff got sent. Counselors do need to, oh yeah, go ahead, Christy.
I don't mean to interrupt you. Sorry, Laura. I missed something,
yeah,
which is also tell your teachers if you add new colleges, because you'll request a new recommendation letter and they may not get the notice or they may not see it in their email. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you for adding that. We, as counselors, we do need to process all of these transcript orders. And with 380 seniors, this can take some time. So we ask for your patience and understanding, and that you plan ahead and be mindful of your application deadlines. So please submit these transcript requests at least 20 school days before your deadline. And if you have a deadline in September or October, which is unlikely, but maybe a few of you do, then just talk to your counselor right away. All right, so once you've placed your transcript order, your counselor will follow this timeline to send your transcripts, and this will happen automatically. So again, if you change your plans or no longer want to apply to a college, let your counselor know so that we can adjust that. So along with your transcripts, when we send your materials, as Ms. Kenyon said, we're going to send your senior schedule, the school profile, a school report form, and the counselor recommendation form. And your teacher recs, those are separate. Those are sent by your teachers. So if you look in Naviance and see that that hasn't been sent, you'll have to follow up with your teachers about that. But so when you first request your transcripts, you're requesting initial transcripts, which we'll send by your first deadline. So if you have one school and the deadline is November 1st, but you have a bunch of other schools on your list, all of your transcripts are going on November 1st. And that initial transcript includes your grades from 9th through 11th grade. After first semester, same thing, everything on your list, we're sending your mid-year transcripts, which will include your first semester grades from 12th grade. And then at the end of the school year, we'll send your final transcript to whatever school you indicate that you're going to attend. And we're going to say this again later, but just to note that you need to make sure you meet your deadlines. And colleges know that sometimes the school materials will come a little after you submit your application. So we'll try to do it by your first deadline, but if it comes a little bit after, that's also okay.
This slide has some action steps for you to take after you've submitted your applications. In your Naviance account, we really want you to double check that your college list is accurate and up to date. Also, you can check if your school documents such as transcripts and teacher letters have been uploaded, and you can check if colleges or programs have downloaded your school documents. We can also help you with that if you come into the counseling center to look at that. And then sometimes colleges will send automatic emails that you're missing materials, even if they've been sent in, but they haven't downloaded them yet off of Naviance. Remember, you are ultimately responsible for tracking the progress and completeness of your application. If you have questions or concerns, see your Alpha counselor, or you can stop by the Career Hub.
Before we transition, another reason it is wise to apply to fewer colleges is because every college turns into a portal that you have to monitor, potentially multiple emails and logins just to find out what's going on, and multiple spam mails from the colleges. So while we also want to protect your time and make sure you really would like to go to the schools you're looking at, there's another reason why you don't want to have so much going on at the same time. So when you get those emails to log into the portals after you've applied, please do so. Keep track of all the information that they ask of you, because that is how they will communicate your next steps.
Yes, before ending our discussion about your post-secondary applications, we've got some helpful and handy tips to keep in mind. Always use your full legal name when you're filling out the applications. Provide your social security number only if it is required. Use one email for all post-secondary applications. Like what Ms. Kenyon was saying, this is how a lot of the colleges are going to communicate with you. So we want you to check this email often so that you're getting the information that you need. You may need to create if needed, you can create a new professional email just for your applications, because then you can have them all in one spot. Please don't use your school email because you won't have access to this once you graduate. Keep track of all deadlines and which enrollment period you are applying for. Deadlines can vary between colleges and programs. Be mindful of the varying financial aid deadlines as well, and scholarship deadlines, audition deadlines, portfolio deadlines, housing deadlines. Those are just a few of the deadlines that you might have. We have some students who sometimes accidentally apply for like January 2026, for example, but we do want to make sure that you are applying for the fall 2026 semester. There may be applications that will ask you to provide verification of the credits and grades earned from outside of Mercer Island High School. Check your application requirements and order official transcripts from every school you've earned credit from if needed. This may also include courses taken through College in the High School, WANIC, Running Start, or summer programs. And lastly, check the testing requirements for each college or program on your list. And please come to the Career Hub with your computer to get support with any of these steps.
All right, so just another note. There tends to be a popular myth during senior year that your senior year classes and grades don't count. Even though a lot of your applications are due before you've earned grades senior year, this is not true. Colleges and post-secondary programs are looking for consistent academic performance throughout all 4 years of high school. And as I said before, we will send your first semester grades after first semester, and we'll send your final grades at the end of the year. So while it might be tempting to ease up on your academics and your extracurriculars, once you've submitted your applications, please know that your senior grades do matter. And it is possible, even after you've been accepted, for a school to turn that into a denial if your performance shows a big decline at the end of senior year. So keep working hard. Christy, is this you?
I could do it.
Oh.
This slide outlines important dates to keep in mind through the application season. I think we've said it enough to keep track of those deadlines. Happy to help you do so. And we're not going to get into the FAFSA, and we're not going to get into financial aid on this webinar, but I'm going to show you how to keep up with what we share out with you and in a moment. Application deadlines pertain to student applications only. Again, we have a pretty nice grace period from the school end. They know that we're going to send the information that they need from us, so you don't have to worry about it, and you don't have to come in to the counseling department worried that we did not send something on your behalf by your admission or your application due date. In the rare case that that doesn't happen, because we have this grace period, it is helpful to know. So, for example, if an application deadline comes and goes, and you're looking at it, a few days later, you've got your portal all set up, and they're just really letting you know we haven't gotten the materials, it would be okay to stop at the counselor at the day table and just ask to have that tracked down. But it shouldn't penalize your status.
We have the Q&A open. I have not seen any questions come through. So I think we will just give a couple minutes if anybody has any questions that they want to put in the Q&A. If not, we will go on to some other helpful information from Ms. Kenyon, and then we can if you've got some that come up, you can always add them after we've gone past the Q&A part.
I guess we're being really thorough. I don't know. Well, we will, I guess, move on and then just use the Q&A feature if things come up. Oh, this is just, you can visit the Counselor of the Day table or the Career Hub with more questions. We've said that a lot, but we're saying it again.
Yeah, if you don't think of your question here, you can always come stop by.
All right. During the application season, as we've probably told you and you've already figured out, things change, lots happens. There's always ways to get either more informed or get more information. And so high schoolers, we just got a new question. So did you see that, Maddie?
I do. It says, when do I ask for my transcript? Once you've got that finalized list, and you'll definitely want to do it before your first college deadline. Once you've kind of figured out, okay, this is the list of schools that I am going to apply to, you can go in and request your initial and your mid-year transcripts on Naviance.
And if you want to look at your transcripts before this happens, just to make sure that everything looks how you expected, you can come get an unofficial copy printed out in the counseling office. Well, Christy, do you want to, should we go back, since we're getting some questions, we'll go back to, this and then we'll go back to you. So
Totally.
Cool.
I see there's another question. A student requested some teachers for letters of recs with the UC schools on Naviance. Should they have done this? I don't think the UC schools look at letters of rec.
They don't, and it's not the end of the world. So it's okay. The good news is for the teachers, they write one letter, they fill out one form on you, and then they can just click, 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 and send it on its way. So no worries, the UCs, it'll go into the ether and no big deal.
I see another question too about someone who logged in a few minutes late. We are sharing the recording of this webinar, and then we'll also post the slides as well that have links on it that you can click. And then for grading scale, does our school do A through F, not 1 through 100? And yes, we do A through F.
yeah, and a lot of the information too is on our school profile, which will be sent along with the other documents. So the colleges will know what our grading scale is and that kind of stuff. And our school profile will also be on our website so that you can see that information too. I think there's another question.
Yes. If a college accepts non-teacher letters of recommendation, would that also be through Naviance?
That's a great question. Actually, that will go through the Common App under other recommenders, and I'm happy to show you how to do that. If you are inviting a teacher from another school, like if you're a Running Start student, then that is also a different process.
Great questions. Keep them coming.
For listing courses exactly as they appear on the transcript, do I put Chemistry 1 on instead of Chemistry 1 honors, if that's what the transcript says? The colleges just want to see that what you're saying is also what's on your transcript. So if it's something as slightly different, like putting honors, and they see Chemistry 1 on, like HON, they'll know, if that makes sense.
You also get to mark if it's an honors course or other. So there's another place to finish that word.
Great. Okay. Maddie, is there anything else, or is that it? That's it.
I don't see any more as of right now.
We can always do more later.
Yes.
We'll go back to the stay tuned page. Christy.
Okay. So the purpose of this slide is to inform you all, students and supporters, the multiple ways you can find out about what's going on. So students should be checking your school email and your Schoology group, which is your class of 2026. I do everything I can to update that, but I also put events on your Schoology calendar. We have monthly newsletters that go out from the counseling team. Mr. Wold will have a spot for some of the things that we send out. The daily bulletin. I happened to hear one particular third period class today was really noisy in announcing the schools that we're coming to visit, and the person didn't hear until later. So, those announcements are really important. I'm spending time getting that message out to you all, and I would recommend that you help your classmates quiet down when you hear the announcements in the morning. Islander Hour, you're going to see it on the Current as much as we can work ahead. The Career Hub website, we're going to show you in just a minute. There's a college visit calendar on there. Parent Square. So parents, you got an email from me about this, hopefully. And so that to me seems like the best way to communicate with you. But we also have a great group of volunteers who are getting it out in the PTSA newsletter, which comes out on Sundays. And we have a brand new Instagram, MIHS CPH Career Pathways Hub, which I know had this flyer on it today because I have some students running that. So there's a lot of ways to find out. And my favorite is the big board at the end of the 200 hall. So every student should have a visual aid of what's going on in the school and what's going on in the College Career Hub. So, and I saw another question come through.
Yes, another one came through about GPA scale reporting. On Common App, it says that you can select numbers from 4 to 20, 100, or none. Our GPA reporting is 4.0 scale, a 4.0 scale.
And there's another one too, I think, but I didn't see what it was.
Yes. You mentioned early decision is binding and that you can't apply to other schools. Does this mean that I can't apply early decision to school on November 1st and UW, since I won't know about the early decision by the UW deadline? You cannot apply to another school early decision. So if you apply to one early decision deadline, you can't have another school that you apply early decision, because when you're filling out an early decision agreement, you're saying that that is the school that you would attend if you get into that school.
So yes, you can apply to a different school early decision as well as UW, but if you get into the early decision school, that's the one you're going to go to, not UW.
Yeah, you don't wait around till March to find out about UW and then change your mind. No bueno. Oh my goodness, there's so much going on. Okay, so this is sort of our kickoff event for Liftoff Camp. It's our fond language to say, hey, we're here to lift you off and get you going on everything. We will be in the hallways. You're going to see me a lot. There's going to be a tent. There's going to be s'mores. And our main purpose is to try to get you to come to the table and let us help you with the things that you're wondering. I do see we have more questions, so just give us a moment. We have a college fair. It's going to be at Bellevue High School, October 15th. It's a great opportunity before you finalize your list, before you submit on your applications, to talk to some schools, even if they're not the ones on your list, to just get a little bit more information about how schools help kids come to college, how they help them financially, what they do at their school, what's research like, what's dorm living like. Like, these are great people to talk to, even if you're not interested in those schools. You'll hear more from me about that. The Career Adventure Van will start going out in October to sites all around. We've been to some really cool places. Last year, we went to Fred Hutch. We went to the Fairmont Hotel. So if you're on this call and you're not really sure where this is all going for you, it's a great opportunity for you to check stuff out. And I love to bring kids to see things around our area. We will have a skilled trade tech college internship fair in February. For those of you who might be thinking about two-year schools, that's a great time to be talking to them about those applications and how that looks for you before you have to make any big decisions. Military, where they were out today, I think we had the Navy, we had the Army, and the Marines all together today. So they come in once or twice a month, and those are great people to talk to about ROTC and what's the one? I call them the weekend warriors. The reserves. You can even start the reserves while you're in college, which is really cool. mostly what I want you to know is how to find things when you need them. So Laura, could you click on the quick demo of the website? Because I just want you to see the Career Pathways Hub.
It actually, I need to maybe stop sharing it. Oh,
Do you want me to?
found it.
There it is. Okay. If you could, so just at the top where you can see that it's Home, Student Life, Career Pathways Hub. The webinar right there was ready to log in. Just scroll down a little bit. Quick links. These are things that are happening soon. They're important. You can see there's the brag sheet. There's a bunch of resources. Scroll on down. This is just the landing page. There's way more here. Here is the calendar. So it has both the school visits and activities. So like tonight's activity was on there. If you could click on the word month, Laura, it'll show schedule or a list, I think. It's in the far right corner.
Got it.
Choose schedule, and then you can see it in a beautiful list form. So if you could see tomorrow, Wednesday, those of you who are on this call, Boulder's coming in the morning, University of Minnesota's coming in the morning. So get up and come on in. You can see we have some lunchtime visits and we have some afternoon visits. So this is how you can find out what's happening. Okay. And then you can also, at the bottom of the calendar, you can actually align it with your Google Calendar so that you can keep track of things as they're coming. Bottom left corner, I think. Yep, add to Google Calendar.
There.
On the left side, you can see you can schedule with me. So I've got 15-minute sessions for kids to drop in and we can like work some things out. You can email me. And then I also have virtual appointments on Friday. And those are great because it's just you and me. We're not getting interrupted. So for those of you who prefer virtual, Fridays are an option. And then if you scroll down just a little bit more, we have things that are happening on campus. And ooh, it looks very big. You should be able to scroll through this and see others. It's okay. See other things that are happening. And then, oh yeah, it looks different on yours. It's great. No problem. Anyway, there's just a lot of information here. And so when people say, how do I find this? How do I find that? I say, please go to the website. Go there first. Or the bulletin board at the end of the 200 hall, if you're old school. By the way, anyone who's thinking about UCs is really important to know. Sorry about the dogs barking. We have a very exciting opportunity. The UCs are coming to us to present to all the students in like our Puget Sound area. And so that is October 16th. So it will fill up and I am not responsible for registration, but you can register there. QR codes. If you are working on something college related and you're in the Career Hub with me, you can certainly use.
We can't hear you. I think you. Yep. Oh,
I accidentally muted myself. I think I'm done. I just want you guys to know this resource is there and to keep an eye on it. And there's a lot more questions.
Okay, I will stop sharing then. And we can just look at questions. I don't think there's any more slides.
There's
one.
Oh, there
There's
is
one
one.
more slide.
Oops. Okay. Let me go back to it. There we go.
Oh, I forgot about.
Is this the slide you're talking about? No. You're muted again.
Sorry. There's some information here about WAGAP and WUI and then the Washington Student Achievement Council. These are things we can talk a little bit more about. They are related to being a Washington State high school graduate. And these are resources for financing and schools that offer good deals. And then WAGAP is a guaranteed admission program in Washington State. Okay, let's go to the last slide. Okay, now we can do questions.
Do we have some more questions?
Yes, we have a few more questions. Do you have to select to apply early decision? And yes, you will have to select when you're filling out the application for that college if you're wanting to apply early decision.
And as Ms. Laporte said, there's also an agreement form that you'll have to sign, and you'll have to have a conversation with your counselor about that and your parents.
If it's a course like PE, biology, or Spanish 2 that is not an honors AP or advanced course, should I select regular standard for course level or not applicable? Asking because there isn't an option for those courses to be advanced and wondering how colleges will know that. The colleges do know what classes we have available here, so they will know that there are some classes that we just don't have honors, advanced, anything like that.
That's all listed on the school profile.
Yes. So you can select regular standard for those ones.
Good question.
And then one more. I have class during the college times this week. Is there a way to visit the college I am interested in?
Ms. Kenyon?
Yes, please. Come see me and we will sort out passes. I encourage you to only do that if it's a school you're very much interested in seeing. So come see me and we will work that out. You would also talk to your teacher just to let them know.
That was the last one that was on there for right now.
Okay. Well, just to repeat, this slideshow will be posted to the website and a recording of this webinar. And if you have further questions, you can come talk to the counselor of the day or Ms. Kenyon.
We've also got liftoff camp happening soon, so you can come ask questions there.
Oh, which website? Our school website that we just showed you.
Yeah, the Career Hub website. We'll put it there. We'll probably put it on the counseling website as well. But if you just type in like class of 2026 or something, it should work out. Oh, cute, Laura. Did you do that on purpose?
Do what? I don't know.
You had a little heart floating.
Oh, I think people are sending reactions.
Yay. Okay.
There's another question too.
So as far as special permission, again, it really pays to come see me in advance and we can talk through the whether or not it's the right class to be pulled out of, if there's another option. We will make sure you get to talk to the reps you want to talk to that are, high up on your list. What I don't want you doing is leaving class for every single college because not every single college is right for you. So come see me and we will work that out.
And you can also make sure to put in Naviance that you're planning to visit the college because that is one of your high school and beyond plan tasks that you are doing. So put it in Naviance. All right. It looks like that's it.
Yeah. Awesome.